Start, Carla, thank you so much for joining us today. Before we speak about SkyCell, it would be great for us to learn a little bit more about your own journey into blockchain. So, how and why did you get involved in the blockchain industry?
Yeah, that's a funny question. I was actually very bored in my normal job. I was actually an expert in sales and marketing of fast moving consumer goods, and I've done that for different companies for what would I say, maybe 12 years. And well, I had like my kind of midlife crisis when I said, "Oh my God, this is not really giving me purpose anymore, and I would like to move towards another like more like something that's more to do with my brain, something that's going to challenge me, where I don't know everything by heart." So I actually embarked on a journey where I really reflected on myself and thought about what would I like to do in the future. And in this process, it took me, I would say, maybe 6 months, 1 year. I stumbled upon blockchain as a technology. I got to know one blockchain company here in Switzerland, which is called Like. It's the first crypto exchange that was there. And basically, the CEO, Richard Olson, who was a true inspiration, he actually allowed me to help him to kind of like market and sell his story. So I got into that whole industry this way. So I conducted the ICO of Like Corp, and through that became a little bit known. That was in 2016. So I can tell you at that time you had to explain to absolutely everyone was what blockchain was. And yes, so that was my first project. I did this next to my normal job, and based on that, afterwards there was just no way back. I had to find a way to like work full time in this industry.
Amazing, which I suppose brings us on to SkyCell. So, can you tell us a little bit about SkyCell, about the company, the mission of the company, and how you guys aim to achieve this?
Of course, yes. So SkyCell is a fairly new company here in Switzerland. It's a tech company who's building containers for the pharmaceutical industry, so to ship temperature sensitive products by air, so through planes, and the air freight industry across the world. So they have a global pool of containers that are heavily focusing on temperature maintenance. So they have different temperature ranges where they can transport pharmaceuticals. And this is, I would say, a 7 to 8 year old company that is highly patented. And yeah, so it's a very interesting, young, dynamic, and innovative company. And they have decided actually to move towards the blockchain space, because for them it is very interesting to actually streamline the processes and make the processes more efficient of shipping around these containers by putting a lot of those processes in form of smart contracts on blockchain technology. So this is where we came together and built a very a convincing case also for investors, to move the company towards this blockchain industry and to raise funds also in this way.
Amazing. And why is an initiative or a company like SkyCell so important in the blockchain space?
Well, I think the whole blockchain space right now is looking for use cases, and this is, a real case where it's. We know of many large corporates who are looking into blockchain technology. The advantage of SkyCell is a rather small company. Today it has 50 employees, so decision and processes can be taken quite fairly quickly. So this means that we can build a use case on blockchain fairly fast, and just show how someone can use technology to really implement much more streamlined processes and much more efficient processes. So I think in a route to market or time to market for blockchain industry, this is a very good example on how you can just implement something quite fast without making such a fuss about it.
Perfect. And you mentioned earlier that you come from quite a traditional background. What advice would you have for someone who might be sitting in the audience tonight, who's interested in maybe dipping their toes into the water or looking at a career in blockchain?
So I think my advice would be twofold. First of all, yeah, as a woman, going into blockchain technology is quite a step because you will be surrounded by men. And we women, we tend to think that normally all the others know more than yourself about the topic. So I started to learn things about blockchain. I would say, well, every day, but I was just passionate. So I read up everything about blockchain technology for, what would I say, maybe 3 months before I started to attend. Meetups. There's one meetup here in Switzerland called Bitcoin, the regular Bitcoin meetup in Zurich, and so the first time I registered for the meetup and I walked. I just passed by because I looked at the people inside and I said, oh my God, these are all tech nerds and I'm not a tech person. So they're going to tear me apart and like make me look like a fool. So I just passed and I didn't even go in. So the second time I went in and I said, I have to order a drink right away, so I cannot leave anymore. So that's what I did. And just to say, after 5 minutes, I was basically in the middle explaining to everyone how blockchain technology works, and all the guys were standing around me. So it was the opposite of what I thought. So my advice would be just go in there and start talking. Everyone's a beginner. It's a very young industry. So no one is an expert, and you can become an expert within 3 months. So just go for it. And then the second thing, so apart from being a woman, just getting into blockchain in general, it's fairly easy. You can just read up things online, mainly watch YouTube videos.
Perfect. Some wise words there. And just finally, Carla, to finish off, how do you believe blockchain and cryptocurrencies will change society?
So today it is estimated that roughly 1/3 of banking jobs are going to be replaced through blockchain technology. I'm not sure if it's that much. I'm sure it's gonna have a huge impact in terms of job shifting in the society, not only in banking, but for many industries. I also think that many traditional businesses will have to rethink their cost structure and their revenue streams, especially when you talk about banks. And what I like about this industry and what it does already today is that actually normal people like you and me start discussing really big topics, like national bank topics, because suddenly everyone can become a national bank and have a currency to run and think about the mechanics behind such a currency and market making. So it is super interesting what kind of discussions this whole trend has sparked, and how now suddenly everyone who thought, this is stuff of people very far away from me, instead of thinking that some other guys are doing this, now everyone discusses really big problems of today's society. And I love the fact that suddenly everyone is becoming interested and really wants to solve problems, and cryptocurrencies and blockchain will probably shape the way we interact and the way we work together much more than the internet has done in the past. So I'm very, very enthusiastic about the space, and I hope to see a lot of very interesting developments.
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us, Carla. We really, really appreciate it. And we hope maybe to see you at a future Block W event.
I would love to come. Thank you for having me.